It's so good to be back! We are the Drone Champions League! The World Championship for professional drone racing teams. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Split 3 of 2024. I'm Matt Andrews, and we have these 7 incredible teams battling towards the title. Who will be the World Champion at the end of the year? Well, before that, we need to determine who's the winner of Split 3. To do that, 6 of our 7 teams will make it to our Split 3 finals. The top 4 will be placed into our main round. 5th and 6th will go into what we call the elimination zone. Essentially, every team in the main round has 2 lives. The teams in the elimination zone, they start with just 1. Lose a race from the main round, you drop into the elimination zone. Lose a race from there, you're eliminated from Split 3. Who will be that winner? Well, we've got a little way to go, starting with race day 1, and every match on our race days has 3 races, 2 pilots from each team against the other, then 2 versus 2, and then all 4 pilots against all 4 of the other team in the legendary DCL Big Heat. Win any of those, you get 4 points for your team, then 3 heat points, 2 heat points, and 1 so on. After those 3 races have been flown, we add up the points the pilot scored, and the winning team get 3 points towards the season, 1 point for a draw. Nobody wants to get that 0. Today's matches to get our Split 3 underway. Raiden Racing, the former world champions, have got IQ0, Valprim, Vicen Mayan, and Batu from Turkey is going to complete their lineup for today. They're up against the reigning Split champions, Cyclone Racing. They brought in Raspberry, Yayu, J-Box, and last year's Rookie of the Year, Zion FPV, returns to the roster. Another returning face on the China Dragons team, Thomas Kuntz, star 23467, their former team captain who left the team, is back. He's with Zapita, Creator Gamer, and Shady, and they're against Spain Drone Team, who've got another pilot we know well, one of Star's old teammates. Sally 1 is racing for the Spanish team with Danube, Silvio, and Platon Air. It's an old favourite location, but a new arrangement and the best name of a track I think we've ever had. This is our new version around Lax, this incredible snow park that we raced in for real life at the start of the 2019 season. And as we complete these 4 pairs of gates and go into a slalom, you're currently in the longest half-pipe in Europe. That's the Galaxy building, an incredible place for visitors to watch the racing from. We did embed a drone there in 2019 into the wall, and it is still there to this day. This is a split S, through the top gate and then back out through the bottom. You're going to see quite a few of those. This, on the other hand, is a corkscrew, through the first of the Foxeer gates and then through the neighbouring one. Split S in here and out, and then a ladder up. You'll see the differences if you're new to some of these as we go around the track. There's a few arches and a snow blowing machine that you need to duck underneath. That's where they're actually kept on this mountain. Now here come those obstacles that we can learn our way through. So this is a split S, through the top and out through the bottom in the opposite direction. This is a ladder, through the bottom and out through the top in the same direction. This is a split S, over the top and back through the bottom in the opposite direction. Now we've got a sort of longer, not quite straight section, and the trouble here is getting down, because you've got to go underneath these arches and they're not that high. So close to the ground, which is obviously dangerous, over the starting blocks, and you go around 3 times. Raiden and Cyclone Racing, 2 legendary teams. They're the ones who are going to get Split 3 underway with Vicen and Batu against Yayu and Raspberry. A really international battle here. Vicen, one of the very best pilots out of Spain, Batu on the Turkish Drone League team, Yayu racing from France, and Raspberry is out of the UK. He's a little bit behind the others early in this as we're now coming over the top of the Galaxy building. And around to the Split S here, we're on board with Vicen Mayan, who's chasing Yayu. This has been a battle we have enjoyed all throughout 2024 and in previous years too. Vicen, such an incredible pilot for Raiden, I never grow tired of watching him race. Yayu, one of the few competitors who can keep ahead of him. Currently there's about a second between the two as we're on board with Vicen chasing down Yayu. Behind him, Batu and Raspberry are in a really good battle for 3rd and 4th place with barely any tenths of a second between them. Lap number 2, Yayu starts his sweeping, flying route down the half-pipe. Vicen just slipping a little bit further behind. That's really good from Yayu, out of that, very direct through the slalom, and now around the top to come back over and under this hurdle. And we finish with the Galaxy building and we move on to the Foxeer corkscrew here, which they're both attacking really tightly, and now it's only 4 tenths of a second between Yayu and Vicen. Is Yayu going to stretch away here? Well, Vicen's in trouble at the snowblower. I told you that could be dangerous. It has knocked him down and he'll recover from there, but with 6 seconds between him and the 2 pilots from Cyclone, All this challenge from Raiden might be over already as Yayu leads his teammate Raspberry into the half-pipe, and there are none of the yellow drones from the Japanese team to be seen. Of course, Vicen, I've said he's the best finisher in the DCL, so Raspberry's under some pressure as he knows that Vicen is surely coming for him, and that gap is getting smaller. We're on board with Raspberry, who's under pressure, crashing on top of the Galaxy building. That's going to let Vicen past him. Yayu hitting that split S. That's a real surprise, and he's just about out of the corkscrew, not letting the crash he had just now affect him, thankfully. He's still got plenty of time between himself and this man, Vicen, who's gone over the snowblower. Learning from his mistake on the first lap, went over the arm instead of under it. That's a bold move. Maybe not the quickest, but it's kept him flying. He's still a few seconds behind Yayu, who's in the finish gate for the first win of Split 3. Vicen comes in second, and look how close this is. There's barely a few thousandths of a second between Batu and Raspberry. Turns out it was 7 one-thousandths of a second, and Raspberry just getting ahead of the other pilot for Raiden. What a great battle for third and fourth, and a decent one at the front with Yayu winning it. This is Vicen chasing him early on when I said these two pilots know each other so very well. But a lap later, Yayu is just stretching away. He got a decent amount of time between him and Vincent at that stage. Vicen still in contention on lap 2, but he gets knocked down here. That's where he hit the snowblower, and for most pilots they'd be well out of the points, but Vicen fought back to second. What can his teammates Valprim and IQ0 do against the return of Zion and J-Box? Away everybody goes, Valprim with a good start. Here's Zion on the chase for him, but hits the first of the A2RL pairs. That sent him right to the back. It was Valprim in front, now it's everybody. J-Box, his teammate, trying to keep up with Valprim, who's an incredibly quick pilot for Raiden Racing. Such an important pickup for them at the start of 2024. Into the pair of Foxeer gates we go, and then we'll split S and then ladder up and out of here. And J-Box can't see Valprim right now. He's alongside him. That's why Valprim just occasionally flashes across with only a tenth of a second between the two of them. Now, Valprim is very direct through some of these obstacles. J-Box goes left, Valprim goes right as they were looking at that gate, so different approaches from them to that last part of the split S's. Oh, and J-Box just adjusting a little, very dangerously close to the ground. Through block trade, and we start lap number 2 into these pairs, and J-Box is struggling with that like Zion did in exactly the same place on the first lap. He's now a few seconds behind the young 15-year-old pilot Valprim, who's so important for Raiden, and they might not see him again. J-Box will do his best to keep up with him. Now heads down to the split S, and it's just a little bit dangerous. Here he is into the corkscrew, tight through Foxeer and getting on his way. J-Box, though, slipping further behind Valprim for now. Anything he gained, he's lost. Valprim is so tight on these obstacles that we've seen on other tracks. J-Box going to have to pull something really special out here. That was pretty tight. That's pretty quick from him. He's within 4 seconds of Valprim, so he has still lost some time. And now Valprim heads down into the half-pipe. J-Box has got to do this really cleanly. Valprim is doing it so smoothly. That's beautiful, but J-Box is struggling on this gate. Hit it twice, gone through, hit the one after that. And now, now he finds not only IQ0 in front of him, but did he make all the gates he had to? You can't have that sort of nagging thought in the back of your mind as a pilot. Sometimes it's better to just go back and cleanly fly everything so you're sure you've done them. At this stage, though, with so little of the race to go, he's just going to do the best he can and catch IQ0 and hope that this race is cleared for him afterwards. This is IQ0 ducking under some, going over others. As he comes back the other way here, yes, he'll have seen the purple drone from J-Box looming and whizzing towards him. Valprim, on the other hand, sees nothing but a finish gate that is entirely his. He is so far ahead. J-Box has lost some time on IQ0. There he goes. It's a Raiden 1-2. And J-Box isn't even third. Zion's got past him. A big difference in times there. 9 seconds between Valprim and Zion, who are the leaders of Raiden and Cyclone respectively. Valprim getting an all-important 4 points, and IQ0 getting 3 with him. That's a lot of points that Raiden really needed. As you can see, for Zion and J-Box, these A2RL pairs were quite a struggle at times. J-Box was in contention with Valprim here, but Valprim has just basically been flawless all the way around here. Yeah, that pair of gates, he managed to get through, but it did seem a little touch and go. Some other pilots might have doubled back and flown them to make absolutely sure. It's time for our first big heat of Split 3, all 8 pilots racing at the same time. 10 points on offer, and whereas Raiden were 2 points behind Cyclone after the first race, they're now 2 points ahead. Oh, Raspberry's the first one to struggle as everybody else is in a kind of procession down the half-pipe. Yayu hitting the first of the slalom poles. That's 2 pilots for Cyclone having issues really early on. Valprim's the one out in front. Behind him, though, it's Zion and J-Box, and somehow Yayu is still in the point-scoring places into the top 4. What's going on with the rest of Raiden? Valprim swings a completely different way towards this turn, and that's given Zion a chance to get past him, and J-Box is a lot closer to him than he was in any of the previous rounds. It's a bit untidy for a lot of the pilots, but Zion seeming to get some good runs in now. Valprim in second with 2 seconds and nearly 3 to catch him, and then J-Box a few seconds behind. This race is really stretched out. Here's Valprim, unusually for him, with a pilot in front that he's got to chase down, so he's got to get this half-pipe in so cleanly as he usually does. It's not that clean, there's just a little bit of an adjustment all the way around, not any sort of smooth lines between one gate and another, but just a little bit shaky. Trying to stay in contention, but Zion, after crashing a bit on his earlier go, welcome back to the DCL, Zion, as now we are starting to see the flying which got Zion FPV the winner of Rookie of the Year in 2023. Cyclone Racing were a brand new team into the DCL. They've made the best impact of any new team ever. And Zion picked up more points as a rookie pilot than everybody else. That's why he was Rookie of the Year, which we awarded him at our live event in Alula in Saudi Arabia at the end of 2023. He hasn't been able to race for Cyclone during the first parts of 2024 in splits 1 or 2. Now he's got a real battle on his hands with Valprim, just trying to stay ahead of him by less than 1/10 of a second. Valprim has been scrapping with him for corner after corner. We're on to lap number 3. It's so good from Valprim, but Zion is still just there. There's the split S, there's the ladder up. Wherever Zion's been, he obviously hasn't been taking it too easy as he is still flying and competing brilliantly. Down now to this set of obstacles. Valprim is so good in these, but Zion's on the inside of him, takes a different route to the final split S. Valprim moves up, Zion swings across, down through the arches now with hardly any of this race left, and it is Zion who's home first as Valprim has made a big mistake and is snowballing his way down the hill. J-Box got past him and even Raspberry as well. What a crazy finish. Valprim doing everything he can to get the lead, to hang on to the lead, and then just lost it at the end. Zion's back in the DCL and with a win on his first day of racing for 24. What a battle between these two teams. Raiden, the former world champions, Cyclone looking to win the world championship title this year for their first ever time. And the way they're flying, being the champions of Split 1 and 2, they may well do it. They've got Split 3 off to a really strong start here, but Raiden didn't make it easy for them. That said, Bar2, IQ0 and even Vicen Mayan need to find some better lines around this track because they couldn't quite keep up with these guys from Cyclone. The first winner for Split 3 and in a strong fashion, 18 points to 12. That big heat was very, very one-sided despite everything Valprim could do. Yes, we're looking forward to more action and emotions like that when we return to the brilliant location of Abu Dhabi for our Split 3 finals, and you'll be able to see that on the 12th of December. Before that, we've only just got begun with Split 3. Here's the next battle. China Dragons against Spain Drone Team, with Creator Gamer and Shady up against Platon Air and Sali 1. Now, Creator Gamer has returned to China Dragons after not racing in Split 2, but was there earlier on in 2024. Sally 1 is back in the DCL. We haven't seen him in 2024 since he helped his team win the World Championship title in 23. Now he's back and he's moved to Spain Drone Team, and he's in green alongside the brilliant young Platon Air. He's just 15, such a great pilot for them, and he's following Sali1, who is returning to the DCL in style. This is his view from second with his new teammate in front of him, leading them down to start lap number 2. It is a 3-second gap between this pilot and, well, it was Creator Gamer, but he's just lost a whole ton of time. So the closest challenge to this pair from SDT is now Shady, who is almost 10 seconds behind, gaining, catching a little bit, then slipping a little bit again. Creator Gamer and Shady having a battle between them for 3rd and 4th, but those two orange drones are absolutely nowhere near the front of this thing. It's all SDT, and it's so close with Sali1 and Platon Air, although Platon Air, where's he going? Yes, he just lost a few tenths of a second there, didn't crash, just looked a little bit dangerous on the drop down over the snow. He continues here with Sali1, just a section of the ladder ahead of him, now basically 1.5 seconds between the two of these. Strong performance from them, and China Dragons have lost another 5 seconds, maybe more. Now 16 seconds behind Sali1. What is going on for Creator Gamer and Shady? Shady is one of the newer pilots. He came through the draft at the start of this year, and it's a huge achievement just to even get into that draft, let alone to then get picked for a team like the professional long-term members of the DCL, the China Dragons. So a huge pickup for him, but he's got to start showing what he can do, as he is way behind his teammate Creator Gamer, and Creator Gamer is off the pace as well. He's been with the DCL for so long. He's very focused, as you can see in the top corner of your screen, whereas Platon Air is now 2.2 seconds behind Sali1, who is so good around here. There, that race is done. 4 points for him and 3 for Platon Air, and then it is a long, long time before we'll see a China Dragon drone reach that finish gate. Creator Gamer is a lot quicker than this, but this track struggling for him. And Shady still got loads of time to do. Look at him as he's rattling around there. The snowblower and the local obstacles, all a mess for him. Sali1 and Platon Air will get 7 points out of the 10. The other 3 for China Dragons, a strong lead for the team in green. Good to have Sali1 back with us as well, as he's such an impressive pilot. He used to race alongside Yayu, in fact, for X-Blades Racing, and then Yayu moved to Cyclone, and Sali1 we haven't seen for a while. Well done, Sali1, on a win on your return to the Drone Champions League, and in some dominant fashion. Platon Air is not a slow pilot. Talking of which, Danube and Silvio, neither are they. The two long-term members of the Spain drone team. They're going up against Star23467 and Zapita. What a story this is! At the FAI WDRC Championships in Hangzhou in China just a few days ago, Zapita, the 12-year-old pilot from China, was runner-up in their World Championship. Incredible to see him fly for real, and at 12 nearly winning the whole thing. Alongside him, Star23467, Thomas Kunt from Germany used to be the captain of China Dragons. He left them to join X-Blades. Now he's back with China Dragons. So pleased to have him back in the DCL. He joined us back in 2020, and he told me how excited he was when China Dragons picked him then. I remember him telling me he fell out of his chair when he heard he'd been selected. Now he's back with that team, leading the battle against SDT. Legends of young and, well, not very old. And they are starting to catch SDT. There's not much between Star23467 and Silvio. He's the captain of SDT, such a strong pilot. Danube is the only member who's been with SDT since the very beginning, and he's leading this race now. There's the corkscrew for both of the pilots from SDT. Good from them. And Star trying to get between them, but not there yet. Danube is getting away from Silvio, as Silvio's got his hands full with what Thomas is throwing at him, but now it's started to come a little bit undone for China Dragons. Silvio not looking so fast here as we saw from the Cyclone and Raiden pilots in the first run, but he is still in that all-important second place, and Star, having challenged him for it, is nowhere to be seen now, and sadly neither is Zapita. They are both far, far behind, and SDT on their third lap are looking like they might pick up another 7-3 win. Silvio here will go around this loop and not see any orange drones anywhere close to him. They are 7, if not 8 or more seconds behind now. There's the corkscrew, another one of those opportunities on this track where you get to sort of quickly look in the opposite direction and see if anybody is really tightly close to you. They're not. They're simply not. Silvio, another chance to check behind him. Nothing to worry about. There's the ladder. Still nothing to worry about. He and Danube are so cleanly out here. It doesn't look flat out fast, but it is smooth and tidy and a 1-2. And here comes Star 23467 and his return to the DCL. He'll be a little bit disappointed. Zapita will also be down in 4th. A big gap between the two pilots from China Dragons and SDT again. What can China Dragons do to try and keep up with this team? Well, Danube is back on winning ways, which is great to see. He got 3 wins out of 10 in Split 2. He's already got 1 out of 1 here. This is Star early on with his teammate in the scrap, in amongst SDT, and then SDT just got that 1 and 2 position. Watch here though, Silvio up after this gate, slightly overshoots the next one. Just little hesitations like that gave Star reasons to think he was going to catch him, but then Star, big crash, nowhere near. What happens with all 8 of them around this location in Lax? Let's find out. China Dragons need an enormous performance here. They can get all 10 points from the top 4 places. Platon Air has gone into orbit off one of the sides of the half pipe here. If he was on a snowboard, then that would look really exciting, but his drone needs to come back down to Earth a lot quicker than he did. He's still ahead of Shady and Creator Gamer, though, early in this. And look, it's a lot of green drones, and the orange ones amongst them. Well, Zapita trying to hang on. Star in there as well. Danube gone really out of the picture there. He was bouncing on the snow, completely lost his line. So now he's being challenged by Creator Gamer, but they're down in 6th and 7th. It's Silvio and Sally1 leading the way and taking slightly different crossover routes as they go through the open part of the landscape there. A little more choice about how you want to approach the next gate and also stay close to the ground. Now we've got to be tight through these gates, and we've seen some pilots a little bit dialed in better than others. Sally1 flying well and going a little bit higher in the slalom before Silvio does. He's climbed early for the Galaxy building, tried to make that a little bit more direct while also contending with the left-right parts of the slalom. Good flying from him, still 0.3 of a second between him and Silvio out in front. Sally1 settling in clearly very well with his new captain and his new team underneath the snow. And he will see an orange drone closer here. Now, every time he gets a chance to look back up the half pipe, Star 23467 is challenging for that 2nd place. He's got a lot to do to try and get the 4 points for the win, but the 3 for 2nd might not be too far out of reach, and Zapita's into the top 4 too. We swing through the half pipe for the last time between these two teams. It's still Silvio, Sally1, Star not that close at this stage. He's lost a little bit of time. That early climb now working for both of the pilots. They come down the other side of the Galaxy building across where we started our real-life race back in 2019. Round that corkscrew for Fox here is all good. This waffle gate of the 2 sections is all good for both of them too. And Star is now 4 seconds, maybe 5 behind. They won't see him as they look up the half-pipe on these turns. Silvio goes left. Sally1 goes right. I told you they do these crossover routes as they get into the landscape. Yeah, some different choices. Either way, it works. They are 1 and 2. Star is in for 3rd. Zapita a little bit further behind his teammate now. Will pick up the 1 point for coming in 4th, just ahead of Platon Air. Silvio's time there is the best time of any of the pilots in this group, but it's 1 second slower than the time Valprim managed to set on his track when he was racing against Cyclone. Well done for Silvio, the captain of SDT, getting an early win for his team in Split 3. I was close early on. You see Platon Air just going a bit wild and exiting the half pipe a little bit too high. From that point on, Silvio basically stayed in the lead the whole time. Sally1 strongly in the support position. Star was closer, but not at the end. China Dragons left behind. They came in 3rd and 4th in every one of those races, which means SDT get a clear outright win of 21 points to 9. Also on race day 3, Mach 1 was scheduled to race against Quad Force 1, but unfortunately, as they are unable to field their team, Quad Force 1 get a 3-0 default victory. So the standings after race day 1 show Spain Drone Team just ahead of Cyclone Racing. Those two teams who've been 1st and 2nd in both of our splits so far, starting well today. Next time we'll see China Dragons take on Raiden Racing. Cyclone and Quad Force 1 are our 2 American teams, and STT will be up against the wildcards. I'm Matt Andrews. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the skies.